Tom, we're back yet again with Kagurabachi. This time we're covering the second major arc of the story, the Rakuzaichi arc, which basically is about chapters 19 through 44, or approximately volumes 3, 4, and most of, but not all of 5. Volume 5 goes up to chapter 46. Again, this is where I feel like because this is what I feel like makes the 100 amp. That's, by the way, 100% authentic manga podcast for you guys. Special for the Kagurabachi coverage that we do. Because this will be like our third video on Kagurabachi that we've done. I'm a Kagurabachi super fan, and you're new. You're brand new to the story. You've just heard me glaze
all
it.
New to me.
Over the last couple of years. But now you're actually reading it. So in my opinion, I feel like, and you felt pretty similarly, that for the Shoujo arc, the first arc of Kagurabachi, like a pretty good first arc for a story, but not like amazing, incredible masterpiece level. I feel like the Rakuzaichi is like a notable step up in storytelling and in art. And I think it's like, I think this is when the story really starts to get its groove on. Although I think it will be the arc we cover after this is when we officially we reach our end of Skypiea to Water 7 notable. Oh, this is just way better. All of a sudden, what the fuck happened? But I want to stop yapping for a second, and we'll of course do a play-by-play of the arc of the arc. But Tom, what were your thoughts? Just kind of first impressions overall on the Rakuzaichi arc.
I think I noticed the leap, like you're saying. The quality leap is undeniable from even just the art was art, the fights, the art, it's just at a different level. Consistent like banger panels and fights from like beginning to end. There's so many little like almost fights in this in this arc, and the way that his art changes, you like the glint of threat, like you know, I don't know, in this, I don't want to get too far to myself too, but like the way that like the powers have been set up, where one of the characters can just teleport us out of a dangerous situation just as it's getting like that tension's rising. It just does a good job of like really like regulating your emotions a lot. Like, oh gosh, we got out of there. I don't know. But so art wise, yes, but like leverage to tension, I think is a lot stronger here. Where like the narrative and the fight scenes are kind of more in concert with each other. But that's a little vague. So we can get into the details if we want. But yes, I am on board with this idea that we've taken a step up. For sure. So
yeah, let's dive into the arc. So basically, the second major story arc of the story opens with a character that we get introduced to, Hakuri, who we later kind of becomes a major player not only in this story arc, but basically becomes one of the major Kagurabachi characters.
A party member.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Main party members.
A great way to describe it. A major core party member of the story. He is a part of the Sazanami family, who are the merchants and the operators of the Rakuzaichi, which, as we briefly discussed in the first arc, is a major underworld auction that happens yearly where they sell people, high class black market weapons, shit like that. And
we've been hearing about this has been set up throughout arc 1.
Yes, and this is the 208th Rakuzaichi that we're about to get into. So Kuri's a part of the family, and he's sort of like the runt of the litter, the one who can't seem to do anything right. And when we meet him, he's sort of down on his luck, and is basically an NPC when we meet him, who we get introduced to him as someone who recognizes Chihiro, who is saved by him during the first little tussle with Sojo, where he shoots the lightning bolt in the city, and Chihiro blocks it with the lightning and does the lightning rod attack. Hakuri was actually one of the characters saved in that encounter. And he's really kind of blown away by how brave and awesome and how what a guy Chihiro is. And he's a samurai, and he needs a samurai in his life. So he links up with Chihiro, and lo and behold, Chihiro is actively searching for connections to the Rakuzaichi. So they ends up kind of being a match made in heaven. What do you think of Hakuri, Tom?
Well, I do like that, like, just innocent bystander turned important plot character. I mean, he's a big loser right out the gate. Like,
Yeah.
this is a pants wedding baby boy. That there's a kind of a trope in anime, right? Like just this like self-loathing loser, especially like from runt of a family who are like all like super powerful, strong. I was thinking of Sanji the whole time, considering I've been
definitely like very. This I love this panel of him so much, where he's like, "What I need is a samurai in my life."
And why does he need a samurai? Because he's been exiled from the family for crimes against the family. Because he's not just a weakling and a piece of garbage to them, but also a rebel who doesn't,
a traitor.
A traitor. So like he's just filth to them, and for that, like he's been exiled. That's like where we meet him. That's his state. In the play we meet him, and so he wants help. He wants help, and he wants strong people because he's not strong enough, and he's always kind of getting himself into trouble, it seems like, too.
Yeah, and that's that's where we start with Hakuri. Unlike a lot of the other characters in Kagurabachi, where we're meeting them at a pretty decent or high level. I mean, look at what fucking Chiba, Chihiro's first major confidant, right? Look at his capability level.
Yeah.
And then we get our Usopp, we get our Hakuri.
Our Usopp, yeah. He's not quite like he's much more pure than Usopp.
Yeah, I just want to say this. I love Hakuri. Hakuri is one of my favorite characters in Kagurabachi. I think he is wonderful. We'll get into, and he's got some great moments.
No, once you learn more about him throughout this arc, I definitely, like, every new deal that you learn about him, you come into like him more and more.
Yeah.
But at the beginning,
you're very much like,
much about him.
Yeah, exactly. You're very much like, what's going on here? But he's not the only character we're introduced to. The other major new character we're introduced to at the start of this arc, who plays a pretty major role in this arc, is Hiyuki, who is the owner and wielder of the Flame Bone. Which by the way, we're 112 chapters into Kagurabachi. We still don't really know what it is. The only thing we know about it is that it's on par with the Enchanted Blades. She has authorization to wield it up to the torso.
And she's part of the government.
And she's part of the Kamunabi, the government organization that
which I've already addressed. I do like that. I like this part of the world building of Kagurabachi. But I will say, with this arc, I made a complaint like last arc that, like, I just think the powers are kind of just like bullshit. Like, it's just kind of not, usually I like there to be kind of a structure and a system to the powers and some kind of, strategy that you can rely on. With this arc, that I've just accepted that this series doesn't have that. Like, because you're right, like the Flame Bone, and we get so many new powers that are outside of the sword.
I'll say this. I'll defend this. I can't defend Flame Bone because we still haven't gotten it explained. Kagurabachi likes to do this thing where it likes to hold its cards really close to the chest, likes to hold names really close to the chest. We'll get introduced to a character and we'll learn their name 40, 50 chapters later. It likes to keep abilities close to the chest. We don't exactly know what like Azami, right? We're introduced to him chapter 6 or 7 or so. We don't really learn what his sorcery actually is until like the 80s, 90s.
I'm just saying sorcery in general. And this is not even a complaint.
It's devil fruit. It's just whatever the fuck.
I'm relinquishing my expectation for that to be something it's not. And so this is me coming to terms with that, not like it, oh, this series is this. It isn't something else. Like it isn't I know it's about swords, but like again, there's just so much more than just swords.
Yeah, there's magic and stuff too.
Like that would be one thing. Like I at first I was expecting a little more grounded battle system based on the premise you pitched me in the first like episode we covered it, where you were just telling me how cool it was. And at this point, like it's just not that. It's just not that. Like it just isn't that. Whatever that was.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a. And we should do. This would be a great video that we should do. Is like the types of power systems and the types of battle systems that are out there, because it is definitely not a like Nen or cursed energy.
Yes, perfect example.
Yeah,
like
it's
Nen,
where there is a greater system in rules to it, where it's more, again, it's more a devil fruit system, where it's everybody, or a mashal system even, where it's like everybody gets one. You can do your one thing, and then you can extrapolate that one thing based on how skilled you are with sorcery, and how much you can take that. So like with like Shiba, right? Like we know that he teleports. But we've also seen him be able to use his teleport to like fucking crush the ground. So it might be something a little more complicated than just like I can just be somewhere.
But that's again, I just wanted to get that off the top, because we're going to be talking about some powers in this arc that are just like insane.
Yeah, and again, and what I also think is cool too, and we'll get like. Again, there's some people that do got some more, you're more like it's electricity, baby, type abilities. But a lot of, again, what we are introduced to here is like more like, oh, I wouldn't think off the top of my head that'd be OP as shit, but I guess it is. And so Hiyuki's got access to the flame bone, which is a bit it's not a sword. It's basically like a bone arm that's on fire. It's a flame bone.
That's pretty cool.
And it's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. And she's got like a partner in crime, Tefuku, and his sorcery is he basically takes you to a special arena, and it basically exists in a sort of subspace, and you cannot exit the arena until a combatant in the sumo arena is knocked out or defeated. So Chihiro gets trapped here with a Curry, and Hiyuki is basically under the Kaminabi tasked with retrieving both the Cloud Gouger, which they still think is around, and Ten. So they have a little scuffle. Curry takes a flame bone right to the fucking face.
Right, and this was the first like thing where it's like level up of appreciation for this character. Like for me, like okay, like this is when I mentioned like as you learn more about him, like right there I was like, okay, that's an interesting, and it's kind of a funny panel.
It's a funny scene in the moment, and you don't think anything of it because it's a pretty tense chapter. Like Hiyuki's a big threat. The
fight's for real.
Exactly. Yeah. And Hiyuki's trying, that's Hiyuki has an offhanded remark to Fuku where she's like, I wasn't even swinging that hard, but this is a weapon on par with the enchanted blades, and he just took it to the fucking face, and he just got knocked out. And he's still conscious for like another couple, like 2 minutes, and then he passes out. He conveniently passes out, which fulfills the sorcery, and they're able to escape. So Chihiro takes Hakuri back to base. Hiyuki goes back to the Kaminabi base with Tefuku, and we basically learn about this Sazanabe clan and Kiora, who is Hakuri's father and the primary antagonist for this arc, who will stop at literally nothing to make sure this auction proceeds. Let's dive in on Kiora and the Toe, which is basically Hakuri's brothers, and I think one sister in there, is a his family, who is the elite sorcerer group that is tasked with making sure the Rakuzaichi goes off without a hitch. What did you feel about his family?
Well, one, I just love. Okay. This is not going to the family right away. I just love Chihiro is the demeanor in this manga. He is just so calm, cool, and collected in a way that you don't see too often with like shonen protagonists. He's just like this no again, we talked about no nonsense, just like look like death in the face and like don't blink. And so we meet the father. What was his name?
Kiora.
Like he walks into his office, and there in his office are our two boys just staring him down like we're ready for a fight. And it's just like a like damn, they're cool. Like they're Chihiro, so cool.
He's got the hold on, I got it pulled up actually, right here. Look at this. He walks into his office and Chihiro's just sitting there ice cold.
Yeah.
Ice cold. And then, but Kiora, to his credit, he is like, whatever, dude. So, anyways, let me explain to you
this whole exchange is very like cool. Like it's a bunch of operators who are all like very powerful, and they have that sense about each other, and so they like don't fight.
Yeah, and it's also a rare situation where the good guys actually have not only the upper hand, like a complete. Up until this situation, they have a complete checkmate on this guy. It's established in a previous scene when he's talking with a member of the Hishaku, because again, to catch everyone up to speed, the reason why Chihiro's involved with this whole auction is because they're selling the Shinuchi, which is the most powerful of the enchanted blades that his dad made. So he's trying to get his hands on this
again.
And
we'll get the Shinuchi, but
we'll get there. Get there.
I gave up. I was just like, I don't even know. I'm not even gonna try to understand this sword.
It's we'll get there. Yeah, we'll get. This is gonna be a long one, guys. Kiora is talking with a member of the Hishaku, and he's basically like, yeah, like, can you handle Chihiro? Can you handle like a enchanted blade? He's like, me going up with an enchanted blade? Are you fucking for real? Like, kidding me? No, I'm not an idiot. This shit's the most. These were war-ending weapons. We're not going up against. We're not. I'm not an idiot. And that's kind of what we go in as a reader. You go into the scene. So Kiora basically explains to him his whole plan and his whole ability and how the auction's able to function. Essentially, kind of almost similar to Fuku, who we're introduced to. He has his own subspace called the storehouse. And in the storehouse is where he holds all the merchandise and people waiting for the auction day. And if he is killed, the subspace will cease to exist, killing everyone inside. And he knows for a fact that Chihiro and Shiba, they're not gonna risk other people's lives, because we got some high moral standing shonen protagonist here. But anyways, so we basically have this encounter, and then he calls the Toe his elite force, or three,
and they're all his sons.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. They're all his sons of varying ages, from 16 to 29. And the ace though is not present. Soya. We cut to Hinao and Hakuri, who have been just and Charu have basically been hanging out, and we have an encounter with Soya, who is Hakuri's older brother. And this is where we learn that basically Soya's like 90% of the reason why shit was a living hell. And it was a living hell with the rest of his family already. Like that 10% was already hell on earth. So take that and multiply it by 9. You get Soya. We get a really great jarring scene where basically Soya comes into contact with Hakuri, starts freaking out. He's like, "Hey, buddy, where were you?" We get a couple of quick flashes of of Hakuri's time, with his older brother getting the shit kicked out of him. And the first thing we see is you flip the page and it's him jumping off of the 20-foot like apartment high rise that they're on because he just needs to escape his brother at all fucking cost. What'd you think of Soya?
Maniac.
Yeah,
Insane
nut job.
Yeah. Hard to even like relate to like his brotherly affection. Just off his rocker. And let's just say I enjoyed what happened to him.
Yeah, so we get a amazing scene, and just to give you guys some context, which it's hard to appreciate. And I'll pull up the physical manga panel as we're discussing this. Here's, by the way, here's a picture of the toe. It's that is Tenri, and I believe his name is like Enji or something, and I do not know their name. The thing about the Shiba is during the as a week-to-week reader during the fight against Sojo and that in finding Char, Shiba's not really present. So people thought that Shiba was a bum and that he wasn't really capable of doing shit. That's fucking wrong. So anyways, Curry tries to off himself. He gets caught by his brother. Things are not looking good. Hanao then shows up and is like, yo, what's going on? And Soya's like, is this your thought? Is this your Iho? I'm going to kill this chick so you can go back to the fam. Like, we want your dad and the rest of them, our brothers, they'd hate you and they want you gone, but they don't get it. They didn't. I understand. You were manipulated. I'm going to get you back, though, brother, because I love you. Don't worry. And we just all of a sudden we get is this the guy here now? Is this the guy? Just he was all the way back at the mansion with Chihiro, previous chapter. Is this the guy here now? And he's like, yeah, and she's like, yeah, that's him. Fucking takes his ass to the fucking sky. Fucking this fucking guy. Isn't teleportation the best ability ever, dude? Isn't it so sick?
There were more so than the first arc. There were more scenes that were just. This is just the art of cool.
And yeah, and even like
is
three
level.
pages later in the same chapter, you get this fucking sweet ass spread.
So this like system that they have where she calls him if phone rings whenever there's danger, and he just teleports and saves her. And like it's just like we're dealing with real professionals here, and something that can frustrate me with shonens is like not all of them are like this, but like. Not to call it My Hero Academia, but like that would be an example. I'm famous for calling out that series. We're just like, wake up, like main characters, like just have your shit together at some degree. And I like that everyone does. Like the series like assumes everyone has they're adults about the situations and they have their shit together. And so it's nice to see like that. And it's not like this guy's dead right now. No, that's ridiculous. But it was just like our protagonists also have our threats and have upper hands and can do things that surprises the
balance goes back and forth, which is just more interesting. It's more dynamic and more interesting to read. So anyways, they start having a little tussle going back and forth. Shiba then brings Soya back to the Sazanami estate. Kiora then is able to kind of put two and two together because he knew that Soya was looking for Hakuri. And we also learned that basically all the Sazanami kids are registered in the storehouse. And if you're registered in the storehouse, Kiora can basically warp you at will, including Hakuri. So Hakuri gets warped back.
That's why. I know. By the way, this fight's cool because there's also he's like warping weapons out to his.
Yes, so
like,
that's basically how they're
cool.
able to go up against the N10 in this scene. It's a 3-on-1 jump fest, and Kiora is providing them infinite weapons because they're getting broken, of course, because the N10s are so much better, But so he ends up getting the upper hand with basically kind of bringing Hakuri to the fight and taking him hostage, and basically he's like, "Give me the N10," and Chihiro's like, "Okay, bet." So they trade the N10 for Curry, and you're like, oh shit, fuck, what are we gonna do? We lost like our nuke.
By the way, I want to say, yeah, I know you're that is a big this decision by Chihiro is a very impressive character moment. I know it's strategic, but like also what he's doing to protect this young, at this point pathetic loser, like weakling. Um there's just something very like honorable and heroic about this decision, and even in the moment, even if he didn't have a plan, I was willing to accept it, but he ended up having, because it just like, I'm just very impressed by Chihiro, that every time when faced with this choice to betray this loser, he chooses to protect him instead, which obviously, it's good hero stuff, like this is classic shonen good guy stuff, but also like it's really nice because it does a lot of work in kind of bringing Hikaru into the crew, and like, oh, this is my found family. This is actually people who I can trust.
And it's such a beautiful moment too, because it goes back to the kind of the first scene where Curry takes the flame bone to the fucking face and is laying on the fucking ground and is like, that fucking sword suits you, Chihiro. Which if we go back to the first arc is kind of is a sort of, minor theme of the first arc is him sort of proving himself and his worth and as the owner of this blade, and Curry's the first one to basically just tell it to him straight and tell it to his face that it does suit him, which is what gives him the courage to let the fucking sword go, because he knows at the end of the day it's still fucking his. Which plays into the real power of the fucking sword, which we learned from Sojo. Is that because of the lifelong contract, you get remote activation with the sword and can to some extent use the abilities without directly holding it or acting it or activating it. So Chihiro is basically able to use Kuro, the black fish, to do light recon of the storehouse in the lead up to the Rakuzaichi. Which basically then kind of takes us to the Rakuzaichi. It doesn't really, Kagurabachi does a really modern shonen thing. The Shinjuku showdown infamously in JJK does this, where there is a training arc or a period of downtime where the characters are prepping, but we don't see it, and instead we only get it in flashbacks when information is relevant.
This is a great thing you've just pointed out. I didn't clock it while reading it, but you're totally right. This is a narrative strategy that definitely keeps things moving and also doesn't spoil and they kind of do this in the first arc a little bit too, with Sojo, yes, with the conversation with the government that they're having about their plan. Like, I'm really thinking about the series. It really is a covert narrative like structure. He really doesn't reveal anything to you about plans much beforehand. It really does keep the cards close to the chest as you read.
You do not need to know what you do not need to know what you don't need to know until you need to know it. And that's why, and that's what I think makes reading it week to week so exciting and so much fun, because occasionally you do get someone's name. You do get a little lore. You do get a piece of information that all comes together or, ties back, and it's exciting. But yeah, we get a couple days and we get little hints of some of the things that they see, and they find a door. They find a door that they think is basically emergency insurance, because they're like, there's no way if he dies, it's just all over. They're like, it can't be. They're like, it just can't be.
I recently saw the James Gunn Superman movie. I don't know if you've seen it. Like, it did remind me of like Lex Luthor's pocket dimension that was like very unstable. And so I felt similarly about this very similar concept.
It's a and it's and again we'll get a little bit more of a taste of how something like the storehouse can be used in a more battle setting. But the Rakuzaichi, it officially begins on November 8th. So mark your calendars. Maybe we'll do something on November 8th. We'll celebrate the Rakuzaichi. Doors open at 11. Auction begins at noon. And then we get chapter 27, which is titled Mr. Inazuma. I wanted to zone in on this chapter because it's one of my personal favorites and like the whole
Can I
series.
say about this Rakuzaichi that the sword isn't to be sold until like after hours, like dark
It's
hours, like
it's
into
the
night.
climactic item.
Yeah.
It's at we save the best for last type beat.
So they're selling other crap for a while.
We're gonna be this is a full day event, and it's basically established in the first chapter. Basically, Shiba's talking to like a confidant informant character,
and now they have 2 swords.
Yes, and they have the N10 now as well, put up for sale. So it's people are hyped. The underworld is in an uproar,
a buzz. They're in a buzz. Yeah,
and we've also learned too what's the Kamunami up to. They're gonna buy the sword. They say fuck it. We're buying the sword.
Again, this is what's fun about including the government, because again, like the government prints the currency, right? So they do have this like budget, but there's some shady characters. Some of them I don't. There's this one guy I don't really know. Maybe I'm getting ahead of ourselves.
Describe his design. Yeah, describe his design. Yeah.
He has like tattoos all over himself, and do you remember this guy?
Yeah. He's got the big beard.
I think so. And he comes to fight Chihiro later on, and he's too strong. Even like he like they kind of.
Like in the that's John Hishaku. We don't know his name yet. We know his name.
Okay.
Present Kagurabachi, we know his name, but now he's just John Hishaku.
But he mentions aside like, I'm not gonna let the government's not gonna get the sword. Don't worry. Like people we don't want to get the swords. That's only bring that up to bring the government part of it. Like the government, I'm not sure if they have their strong warriors, but I feel like there was a plan B that obviously didn't end up happening because of what occurred at this place.
And it's established that they're like the Kamunabi. So the Kamunabi and the Hishaku are basically into deadlock.
Hishaku,
because the Hishaku, which is the elite sorcerer group that killed Kunishige, Chihiro's dad, have the swords, but the Kamunabi have the sword bearers, and you can't use the swords without the sword bearers, with one exception, the Shinichi, because it's just so based and so strong, it just leaks out. It just be elite power, just be leaking out of this fucker.
Whatever.
And it's established that the Rakuzaichi, which happens yearly, this is an annual event on November 8th, or the second Saturday of November, who knows, where the city goes silent. It goes dead. Everybody stays inside. Everybody knows this event's happening, but everyone just
turns a blind eye.
You're powerless to this. Scum and villainy that's happening before you.
Even the government is just there for the swords. They're not there to end the whole thing.
No, they're there as members to bid. To bid, and it's Hunter x Hunter auction rules. 3 people get to enter only, and it's very and there's lots of security, and it's a pretty tough thing, and everyone's on the lookout for Chihiro as well. Although everyone's like, he's probably not going to show up.
He doesn't
even have his fucking sword. He doesn't even have his fucking sword, and then that's when we're introduced to Mr. Inazuma in one of the hardest fucking panels ever.
Interesting. Yeah. This is a fun little. I assume there's going to be a lot more with this character, but in this arc, I don't think we get to see much more beyond this introduction.
It's very light, but it's not like I'll say this. It's not like he's a major character in later arcs. I'll tell you that right now. But what I like about him and what I like about Kagurabachi is we get we spend real page time with characters like Mr. Inazuma that that inject a really small but poignant human element.
It's a kindling to what's about the blaze that's about to be
that what is about to happen.
It's the match strike of this whole encounter?
Mr. Inazuma, young boy, he brings down the thunder of justice on evil. And he's basically got an older sister. He's kind of like a crybaby type character, but he's got an older sister who looks out for him and takes care of him. And there's this flashback with the sister, and she's like, oh, don't freak out about rainstorms. It's okay. Lightning only strikes bad people. Thunder only strikes bad people. And his sister ends up getting taken to be sold off as a slave by the Rakuzaichi. So he's entering the den of evil, as he calls it, to get his fucking sister back. So he fucking rolls right up to the fucking front gates. Of course, he's stopped by the fucking jobbers out front, and it's it's just not a good fucking scene. And then of course we get Chihiro pulls right up to the fucking gate. Char fixed his arm. His arm has been fucking healed. Shiba's like, well, we weren't gonna go yet, but I guess we going now because Chihiro's not gonna let this fucking kid get murked. Oh my god. So he's like, I'm not fucking afraid, you fucking Yakuza scum. I bring down the thunder of fucking justice. And then Tom, what fucking happens next? He fucking comes in. He fucking slices him up.
You are hype.
He slices him up
right now.
And then
you're like power levels. Sam is off the level.
We get like true euphoria. You're like, what is gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Cloud Gouger. Fucking Cloud Gouger. He fucking uses
oh my god.
fucking Cloud Gouger. And he pulls out, dude, I need you to understand, Tom. You read this chapter, and 2 minutes later, you read the following chapter. We had to wait 2 weeks. We had to sit with this fucking panel. And we're like, what happened? Did he fucking reforge it? Did he bring it? What happened? What happened? Is it a short sword? What happened? And we just had to fucking wait. And that's how volume 3 ended. If your parents, if you're 10 years old and your parents got you Kagurabachi because they're awesome, and they got you volume 3, you just had to just sit.
You get volume 4. Yeah, not getting.
You get volume 4. This was like euphoric. This was euphoric, dude.
This is interesting. The psychology of week to week versus all at once, like binge. Because it's a hype moment for me, but right, I just kept on reading, like it's so interesting. But yes, very cool, Sam. Very cool. Calm down.
So he sits in. So we're in it now. We're fucking in it. We're invading the fucking Rakuzaichi, and we're using the May that's broken. It's fucking here. Let me get a great shot of it. This is where we learn that actually it's still busted, guys. Don't worry. It's still broken. He didn't repair it in like 4 days. And it's on its last legs. It's not as powerful as it was when Soja was wielding it. It's busted, but it's still an enchanted blade, so it's still pretty fucking strong. So he's getting these jobbers down like it's no fucking big deal. And as he's getting as he's going through, as he's going through and causing some havoc more on the ground level, that's when Shiba gets in at the at the bottom, and he brings Hakuri with him because basically they realize that Soya, the ace, is basically he's at the level intelligent wise, they say, of Kiora, who with how he uses the storehouse in the previous fight, basically managing weapons, spitting them out in space to 3 different people all at the same time while a battle's going on. Pretty high IQ to be doing some shit like that. Apparently Soya's on that level and also the strongest one of the toe. But when
it doesn't come off that smart.
when Hakuri's involved, he ain't. So that's why Hakuri, despite being the kind of the weakling we know him as, is this part of the story. That's why he's getting in on this, and also he wants his family to stop. He needs this auction to end. He knows how horrible it is.
Well, I don't know, when does the flashback for him occur? Maybe
We get it. We'll get it in a little bit,
because that informs why he wants this to end, this auction.
And needless to say, so he gets warped in with Shiba, and then he runs off. Soya chases after him. So then Shiba's left to deal with the remaining 3 members of the Toe. It's going to be Hakuri and Soya, and then Chihiro.
I love that Shiba's able, like, because he doesn't get as much screen time. He's a secondary character. We have complete faith he can handle this.
Oh,
and it's
totally.
crazy because that's not typical.
And also, it's also established.
This is like a Jagan in like a Fire Emblem where you get like the super strong like secondary character, like
and not only that. He can handle all 4 members at the same time. He just says it'd be a pain, and it'd be good, great teamwork if he could get the most annoying one, the most difficult one away from the scenario. So Chihiro, of course, sees Hakuri running, getting chased by Soya. He's coming after him, but he gets blocked by a bunch of vines, which was, of course, which is where we're introduced to, shortly introduced to John Hishaku, one of the core members and the leader of the Hishaku. He basically, what I love about his introduction is he's introduced as like a jobber. Basically, he's just introduced in a group of kind of like how Joker is introduced in The Dark Knight, where he's just one of the guys in the mask, and then Chihiro basically knocks the 3 of them out, and then the 4th guy, he like blocks it and gets it some distance, and then that's when we actually see the tattoo, and he reveals himself. And John Hishaku, pretty fucking strong at this point in the story. Also, he gets Chihiro kind of on the back foot. He tells him, he's like, "Yeah, I'm the leader. I killed your father. What you gonna do about it, bro?" And Chihiro's credit, he doesn't crash out. He locks in, he doesn't crash out, and he focuses on the mission, which is getting back to Hakuri and stopping the Rakuzaichi and getting the sword back. What'd you think about, like, I'm curious, like, what'd you think about, like, this moment? I feel that, like, this is another great example of, like, Chihiro being set apart from other shonen protagonists who would definitely have had an emotional crash out.
Well, that's what I was saying. Something I like about Chihiro is like, I really trust his maturity and like it's not just like, typically with the revenge story, sometimes the vengeance overpowers a character's emotions and decision making. Chihiro is very clear-headed in every aspect of it. I think maybe maybe we need to see this a bit more from him, some vulnerability of like, I don't see the vengeance bubbling over and impacting him in his decision making much. Like he's able to kind of tamper down that probably very hot emotional like core of his motivation. He's a rock for the other characters to then rest upon. Like, he's really trustworthy. So I guess that's my impression of pretty much everything he decides to do in any fight.
He's great. And then on the other side of the vine wall, we have Hakuri and Soya, and basically Soya's kicking the shit out of Hakuri, and Hakuri's like, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna fucking do this. I'm gonna fucking stop him. I'm gonna fucking lock in. And he uses his family's lineage sorcery, Iso, which is basically just a force. It's force push from pressure, Star Wars, but it's very fucking strong and can do a lot of fucking damage. We see it basically take out a whole floor of an apartment building when Soya's fighting Shiba. So it's not some simple bullshit. It's a pretty strong.
This is a hype moment, by the way, that he's able to access this power. This is always fun when a character who's never been able to access their power finally unlocks it in the heat of battle.
And they explain it, and they explain it and set it up great. And also, again, back to our previous point,
flashbacks.
A previous point. We get doled the information when we need to know it. So we learn the first bit, we get our full lesson, our full official in-universe lesson on how spirit energy works. And it's Nen. It fucking circulates throughout the body. We all get that. We all understand this, and it lets you, jump 20 feet in the air and shit, and lets you, maybe take a bullet or something. And once you have enough of that channeled, you can then basically use that innate spirit energy to channel your innate sorcery, which is something that you're born with. And there are innate family lineage sorceries, and that's why Hakuri has access to Hiso.
And he isn't a little weakling worthless. We learn that it's all been defense, his stats, that he's been getting beat up his whole childhood, that all of his like spirit energy has been focused on just protecting his body from all the abuse.
from all the abuse, and that's also where Shiba theorizes. He's like, yeah, that's like why you're able to take a fucking flame bomb to the face, because your family.
Yeah, anyone normal would be dead. Like with that, yeah.
So again, a previous little joke actually becomes a feat. So he uses a little light. Iso pushes him back, but it's weak, but it gives him enough time.
It pushed him back into the vine wall.
Yeah, it pushes it back in the vine wall.
It's like not a far distance,
but enough for Chihiro to break through the vine wall, escape John Hishaku, and do some serious damage to Soya. But he doesn't kill him because he's Akuri's brother, and he didn't want to do that to his new friend. But Akuri doesn't give a shit. He's like, fuck my family. These guys are bad news, and they gotta die. They gotta die, and we gotta stop this shit. So, and Hakuri's like, dude, I know Cloud Gouger's got only a little left in it. Don't waste it on him. I'm fucking finishing this shit. And then that's when we learn the other reason why.
Can I just say,
please?
It's nice that like this is where Haguri is like, oh, he's here now. Like it didn't take 100 chapters for him to make this evolution to like, oh, just badass, awesome. Like he wised up. He's here now. Like so, it didn't take from introduction where he is kind of, oh, I'm a little piss baby boy, to now.
We get this.
Like I like that.
Amazing
and again, there's a lot of good spreads.
So good.
I like we got there. Not that it happened fast, but it needed like now's the time to grow up. Like it's the scenarios here where it's like
he needed that mental breakthrough
moment,
and like
the appropriate moment.
And and even Shiba explains that he's like, mental blockage with sorcery is real. Like if you have mental hang-ups or trauma, like that can prevent you from that can prevent your sorcery. That can change your trauma can change or alter the way your sorcery works. Or prevent you from using it. So that's part of it. And then this is where we get the flashback. So this is before we enter the real kind of scuffle with them. This is where we get the flashback and how Hakuri became a traitor to his family. Where like, his year younger brother Tenri and the rest of his family, he's trying to, he loves his father. He's trying to win his approval and, take over the family business, like the rest of the family. But he can't do he can't do the sorcery, he can't be a member of the Toe, and he's just kind of shunned, and he's basically made to do the grunt work. So that includes taking care of the merchandise, which includes a icy skinned lady, woman with icy skin is her official name.
Young lady,
yeah, young like young mid-20s or whatever. And they end up forming a little bit of a relationship. She's like, I want to fucking just die and get out of here. But he's like, I can't let you die. I'm not going to let you starve. I'll stick an IV in you. Like it's not going to happen. But
he's still trying to like parrot the company line,
exactly.
The family line. Like
even though like they're constantly abusing him, and she's like, hey, that's not cool that they're abusing you. And just she ends up using her icy skin to kind of heal or heal his wounds, soothe his wounds, and they start gaining a bit of a friendship until the last day where she's about to be moved permanently to the storehouse before the Rakuzaichi. He comes in with a key and he lets her out, and he's like, no, we're gonna escape, we're gonna eat food on the outside, and we're gonna do this. And this is when we realize she's like, thanks bro, she's got a knife to her neck, she's like, thanks, I appreciate you letting me out. I just had to do it because I got to escape. No one's gonna love me with these icy skin. He's like, dude, I liked you. You helped me out. It's like, that's what my husband said, but she ended up selling me, and I don't want to do it again.
Was it husband?
Yeah, her husband. Yeah.
Oh damn.
So
tough.
she's like, yeah, I'm done.
I missed that.
there's no hope on the outside, fucking, and kills herself. And then Hakuri is distraught by this. He's like, I killed this woman. This event killed this woman. Her soul died when she was sold. This must end. And so this is where he, of course, then escapes his family, and kind of where we meet him in chapter 19. And we kind of realize why he has the resolve he does to end this. Great little flashback, I thought.
Sam, I'm realizing I misread this section. I thought this was the sister of the little kid.
No, so the sister of the little kid is she looks kind of similar to her, actually. Her hair's a bit darker. And she's she's in one of the
okay. I missed that
it does flash to her in a couple of I'll see if I can find some panels.
So this is the difference between somebody who only read it
Icy
once
Skin
first
Lady.
time.
Yeah, this is Icy Skin Lady. I've read this section of the story 3 times.
Yeah, so I'm sure you're right.
Freaks like me.
I was seeing but that makes sense why they didn't like reunite afterwards. So got it.
And So yeah, that was what happened there. So then we get back to the fight, and Soya's kind of get back on the offensive.
Oh, by the way, this is why he was exiled.
Yeah, exactly. So we're back to the fight. They're going back at it. And then it's also kind of mentioned offhandedly earlier that Soya in his abuse uses tools, pliers, hammers, and shit to also fucking beat the shit out of his brother, but they just kind of disappear. He's like, yeah, my brother loses things all the time, and then just gets back to beating me up with his fist. Well, it turns out that Hakuri, part of the reason why he couldn't use his so was because he was actually using this fucking storehouse all the time, managing his own storehouse. And we learned that Hakuri actually has 2 fucking sorceries, which is obscenely genius level fucking rare.
Yeah.
He's the only guy, spoilers to 112, he's the only guy who's got 2. Because he built different. Hakuri's him. He built different. So he's got access to his own version of the storehouse, where those, weapons, those, tools of abuse were going, along with the so. And he basically uses that, beats defeats his brother, knocks him out.
There's a lot of great fights that get them to the door, pretty much.
Yes.
And, again, I'm reading these fights. We don't have to go into the details of each of these fights, but it's just the overwhelming sense of the art and the choreography and the camera and just the paneling. It's just, I'm reading this and this is another level that it's gotten to. And I really enjoy these fights because of that. Just they're just so gorgeous. Now, I will say, I do think the Tao brothers, we're pretty much tossed aside characters. They're not as interesting.
Yes,
they could have done more there, and maybe there needed to be more build up to this, because the fight is just cool fight. There isn't that level of there's internal conflict or character development in the fight.
It was specifically in this arc with the toe. You speak Japanese. Is it toe or Tao?
Toe.
It's T-O-U. It's T-O-U. So I thought it was toe. Yeah.
Was I saying Tao?
Yeah, you said Tao. Yeah. That's why I was was I wrong?
No, this is just me mishearing you, I think. So you've been saying toe.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
The toe, there was a big meme in the Kagurabachi community that if you're an elite squad, you're a jobber and you're no big deal. Because remember the last arc? Our last elite squad? The anti-Cloud Gadget squad, how awesome they were, how great of a job they did at their job,
so elite, so that's the meme. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to be an elite squad. You don't want to be an elite squad.
It's slightly unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think for this arc, if there's something that the fights with the siblings are a little
I think it's weak, and
NPC.
Yeah, and I'll say this and because basically, Shiba takes him out 1v3s him, low diffs him, and he's got this great scene where it flashes to him, and he's got a cigarette over one of I think he's got it over Tenry's eye. And he's basically like, so how do we get in the door? You're going to let me know, or I'm going to use your eye as an ashtray. So, Shiva was built different in the war. Shiva, he must have did some shit. And basically Tenri ends up using a piece of Datinseki that Sojo, basically gave to him, which was, of course, the material that was used to forge the enchanted blades. He basically just raw dog wields it, and is able to channel his spirit energy into a jellyfish. At the cost of cool as fuck. At the cost of his own life. So he basically Chihiro ends up using the last little bit of energy, and it's just kind of the sword. It's empty. It's all juiced out against him, and Tenri dies. He fucking dies. And his older brother, the oldest brother, I think his name's like NG and something like that. Is distraught that his brother died, and then they're like, all right, well, let's use the door to get in. And then this when they realize that the fucking door is shattered. And even the toe didn't know. Even the fucking toe to get the emergency door that they were protecting was completely, broken and shattered.
Which means this is like all or nothing right now.
Yeah.
Because that door was the only backup if the father ended up dying.
Yeah, which means it's all or nothing. And also Tenri just died for nothing. They died protecting a door that they couldn't use in the first place. So just Kiora at that point is just like, if you thought this guy wasn't a villain already for, I don't know, human trafficking, he let his family die for a bluff. So yeah, he's no good. Well, thankfully though, we recoup with Akuri, and he's basically like, well, I actually can do the storehouse, and I can,
but not the same storehouse.
Not the same storehouse.
It's his own storehouse. Yeah.
But when he registers Chihiro, he's like, whoa, when I registered you, because you have a lifelong contract with the N10, your spirit energy is also imbued in the N10. I can transport you to the N10.
And anything that the N10 spirit energy contacted,
we can get out.
Get out. Yeah, teleport out.
So then that revolves with so then we get this
again. I was like, okay. That's me going, fine. you worn me down, Kagurabachi.
Okay, Hokuzono, whatever you say.
So we have a second person that could not just teleport, could teleport almost anything else in anywhere. Like we already have a guy who could teleport everywhere, but now there's someone who can do other things. I was like, got it, cool.
And then we have another based Cloud Gouger moment. If it wasn't already exciting, he's diving into the fucking storehouse, and unlike before, where Kiora was like, me up against an enchanted blade, nah fam, not a chance. No. We're in his domain. We're literally in his domain expansion right now.
Well, we learned that he has like a hologram of himself at the auction.
Yeah, a video image.
Doing the auction.
Video
image.
He's
controlling that, but his real body's in
the storehouse. So it's time to kill him. And
so that's where the swords are.
That's where the sword is. So he gets the N10 and he's going in and he's about to get murked. Fucking the Cloud Gouger's all out of juice. But Chihiro's like, nah, fam. Nah, bro.
There's one more. We got one more bullet in the chamber.
Roku, your property. Lock in. Get it together. And it launches out the craziest fucking May blast. The machine is broken. Also, by the way, that is Mr. Inazuma's older sister right there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I was they seem similar.
They look very similar. Flipping through it, they do look very similar.
Yeah.
And that's and then we get into the final volume, the climax of the Rakuzaichi. Of course,
wow, they end both volumes on the Cloud Gouger. It must be the most hype.
Cloud Gouger is so sick, dude. It's so sick because any other series, right? It'd be electricity's the one sword, water's another sword, ice is another sword. Nah, motherfuckers got all three and they combo off each other. I
will say that this fight is very like high octane, intense. Like you have Hikari like transporting things and people in and out. And then this, we have the father like doing these crazy terraforming things.
Yeah, he's like moving shifting the ground. Yeah. He has full control over the subspace.
And Chihiro's going ham, of course, as always, while the auction's going on. I will say I did lose track of this fight. I think clarity in this fight in the manga is a little hard to follow because there's just so much going
yeah,
on.
we're jumping
this
back
would
and
be
forth.
an anime worthy watch because I honestly am gonna rely on you with this fight because so much happens and it goes on, like there's phases to it.
Yeah, I'll
almost a little too long.
I'll take
like,
you guys. Yeah, well, don't worry, I got you.
I it is hard to follow. So if you're reading, I felt like this was a hard to follow fight.
It's definitely
and the coolness
a little over the place
of what's going on, because it is cool, and what's happening is cool. But I just got a little overwhelmed by what was actually happening because the powers are so, especially the Shinichi, right? They're just so unbelievable that like you're like, okay,
it's
I'm
not
just gonna let this wash
I'll say
over
that.
me.
So let's not to like we're not jumping ahead, but like I'll say this about the enchanted blades, and this goes 50x for the like Shinichi. Shonen storytelling has trained our brains to think that when we're introduced to some like, okay, so like in JoJo, for instance, in JoJo, all the characters in
explain
JoJo
their powers, yeah.
Not only explain their powers, they have an innate a fucking belief in their core that whoever they're fighting, the stand ability has a weakness. It has some drawback. The enchanted blades don't have a drawback, and the Shinichi is like no, does not. And we'll get there. But yeah, so basically, to establish the stakes, there's about 36, I think they say 36 or whatever, individuals inside the storehouse. Kiyora's inside the storehouse as well, and Hikuri has registered Chihiro and thereby the N10 in his personal storehouse. Anyone that Chihiro's spirit energy is imbued with is technically registered, therefore, by Hikuri, who can then be warped out of the storehouse. So when Chihiro gets his blade back on the N10, he does a Kuro scatter, and he basically dodges an attack by Kiyora. And during this moment, a bunch of the individuals in the merchandise who are prisoners inside the storehouse get warped out. And it was basically like a bluff. While this is happening, Hikuri is like losing fucking brain cells because transporting everyone out and in is taking a lot of fucking mental toll. On top of this, Chihiro's also unable to, because Kira's also throwing weapons and grenades and stuff, and we get this amazing combo where through the subspace, Chihiro swings at a bunch of grenades to basically imbue his spirit energy with them, and then he calls for Hikuri to basically bring the grenades to the real world, into the crowd of these criminals who want to bet in bid money on the Rakuzaichi, and we get this hard as fuck panel.
There's a lot of hard ass panels in this. I mean, that is, if you like panels like that, all the characters are just. Look at him.
Don't you care about Aura? Don't you care about Aura?
This baby wimp pea leg peer is now like just mafioso,
and
like
he's him, dude.
And he's got this like the mask.
The mask too, is so sick. It's so cool. It's going pretty good. But Chihiro's kind of he's getting to his fucking his limit. And also when the grenades go off, the crowd is like, fuck that, what, this is over. This is so fucked. This is so fucked. We're out of here. But then he's
like, no. We're moving up the swords.
We're proceeding.
We're moving up the swords. We're doing the swords now.
We're doing the Shinichi now. So everyone's like,
okay,
we're back. So the crowd, the stands are smoking. Everything's going off. He's still going off against Chihiro. Chihiro's up against his limit in the subspace. This is when Hiyuki meets up with Hikuri. Hiyuki then gets sent to the storehouse to kind of help out
Flame Bone
with Flame Bone. And then this is when it's revealed that the Shinichi. So from chapter 1, when we're revealed the cases of all 6 swords. The Shinichi is shown in a special wrapped case. That we get the reveal why that is, because the Shinichi is him, and because it's so goated, we needed special seals on it, so it can never be. It can never. We just can't let this be used ever again. The other swords we shouldn't, but this we can't. So
clearly not that good of luck, though.
So it's established that the three of the most Kaminabi elites, high IQ people, put together a seal that would require their blood all at the same time to undo it. And anyone who is an expert level sorcerer would take 10 years. Well, John Hishaku, once he got his hands on it, did it in 3. And the Shinichi was actually be able to be unopened from the box. And Kiora grabs the fucking sword, and we get an amazing fucking panel of him. Which, by the way, this is my let's see if I can find it. This is my iPhone or my iPad screen. This image of him whipping out the Shinichi. Oh, here it is. Now the Shinichi, it's so fucking strong, and then we get a shot of the swordmaster, in his little facility,
cell or something. Yeah.
And the Shinichi cannot be unsheathed. It is so powerful that it cannot be removed from its sheath. Yet it is still fucking leaking so much energy, and it is super fucking strong, and it's destroying the storehouse. And it's not a good fucking scene because there's people still in there, and it's just getting real fucking it's just getting real fucking dicey. So Chihiro gets warped out for a second. Shiba's like, all right, we're done. And Hakuri's like, there's still people in there. And Chihiro's like, nobody's fucking dying today, B. Nobody's dying today. Gets sent back in there. Hiyuki gets in gets in there too. It's this.
Sam, you're so hyped. Like, it's unbelievable. Like the F-bombs per sentence here. You are like, dude, and then the fucking shit comes out of here. But that's what I want to say. That's what it does to you. Like, when you're reading this, the fights are so like immaculate at this point. I think Arc 1 does not even, the soldier fight doesn't even scratch what's happening now.
Definitely.
Like the scale and the level of the actual drawing.
It's so intense. It's so intense, and it's so good. And then we get this this sort of a kind of the climax it off, because basically they're like, they got a few more seconds. Like, Akuri's like, we got maybe a few seconds at best, and Shiba's like, well, it's up to Kiora to fucking lock it in, because Kiora is the Shinichi takes over your mind when you use it,
right?
And also, by the way, it just leaks out a flower ability that plant that basically, it's like the Last of Us spores, and just kills you from the inside. It kills you from the inside. Just a completely devastating weapon. It's all of its abilities are insect based, and also I don't believe if we learn it right here, but we learn it off kilter later on, that the Shinichi has, which also we learn its name, the Magatsumi is its actual name. Shinichi just means best sword in a group of swords. The Magatsumi has more than 3 abilities, which is unlike any of the other swords. And they're all insect based. So we're getting introduced to Centipede, which is a sort of horizontal shockwave ability. And I believe there's also maybe one more that he also maybe uses. I think it might be Dragonfly, maybe. But he ends up, but Kiora, we get honestly like a really great flashback with him, where it flashes back to him with his deceased wife, and it's her on her like dying breath, and she's like, I just want to let you know, this Rakuzaichi sucks, and you suck for doing it, and you're fucking bought in on this fucking shit. It's a fucking big scam. And I'm just saying this now because I'm dying anyways. And fuck you. And he's like, why am I remembering this like
right now?
And it doesn't, and she's like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't, like, this shit didn't matter. And then it's a great shot of him with his family at like the dinner table. They're all around the dinner table, and we can't see his like wife's face. And he's like,
fatherhood is a theme in this
in
manga,
this whole
obviously.
story. Totally.
So far, this is obviously a clear developing of the fatherhood theme with this villain of this arc. Like we're kind of coming back to that here. So I think it's an important flashback for developing that kind of ground, like that, like foundational theme of this manga.
Yeah, and
because we don't get as many flashbacks with Chihiro and his dad in this arc, which I missed a little bit, because that was like a really important kind of in initial kind of heart of the first arc, and that is not quite as much, maybe as a 2 or 3 at most, in this arc.
Yeah, very little, like here and there with Kunishigi, and it's and there's this great moment too also when they're fighting when they're initially fighting in the stars before he grabs the Shinichi. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up. And it's basically Chihiro's throws fucking the N10 at him, and he basically does like a triple fake. He does like a double fake out on him where he throws the N10 at him.
Very cool. He
blocks it, and he's like, fucking, I got you, dude. Hakuri can't. He's not gonna fucking do it again. And then he goes for
Luke
it.
Skywalker,
and he fucking goes for it. Yeah, it literally Last Jedi. So fucking goes for it, but no, he actually used a video image projection that Kyoto was using on the stage in the storehouse to use a double.
How do you do that, by the way?
How do you do that? It's part of the storehouse ability. It's just part of the innate. It's just a part of the innate sorcery.
Got it. Because again, I was like, okay,
yeah. Well,
cool.
It's like one of those things. It's the same ability as Star Platinum. It's the same type of stand as Star Platinum type shit.
By this point, I'm like, I'm over it. Like I'm done trying to understand. Cool shot.
Okay, cool, whatever. And then we get this great fucking bar by fucking Chihiro, where he's like, because he's like, your best would have been believing in Hakuri, and he's like, and that's why you lost. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I love Hakuri, he's the best. But this before he picks up the shit, it's a great fucking moment. He picks up the fucking Shinichi, and he gets this great review. We're back at the family table, and he's thinking about this. He's thinking about his family and how the Rakuzaichi basically cost him his entire family, but it doesn't matter. We get the fucking panel. You flip the page, and the gavel comes down. It shatters his fucking memories and his flashback in a fucking glass with the gavel to proceed, and he puts the fucking sword down. He overcomes the mind control and the mind takeover of the Shinichi with his proceeding and wanting to just make sure the Rakuzaichi goes off, even if it costs him his life, which it does. And he ends up dying on his knees, putting off the mind control. So he was he was him, man. He fucking stood by. He sucked ass, but he really cared about this fucking auction.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, a villain that was just so maniacally obsessed that we only get those very brief glimpses into him and who he actually is.
Yeah, it's like in a weird moment is like him being like who he was, like what allowed like Chihiro and Hakuri to get the the last few people out of there, just because he fucking held on for fucking so long, and also didn't succumb and get taken over by the mind controlled by the Swordmaster. So
yeah, then, and that's pretty much it.
And
right?
then and then we start, and then the curtain fall, and then of course I got to show the curtain falls.
Oh, that is. I even was like, wow, what a mic drop. Spread.
It's so good. Also, I need to. So this is, by the way, the great panel where he puts it down, and that's like a great little shot right there. And then we get chapter 44. The curtain falls. And they fixed it in the volume release. In the original release, they used like shitty text, like shitty font. Now I wish if I had the Japanese version. The Japanese version, it's like 2 kanji, and it's like boom boom, and it looks awesome.
Oh, I wonder what the kanji.
Yeah, I'll find it for you afterwards. And then basically we just kind of get the last little chapter where Hiyuki, as Chihiro's grabbing the Shinichi back, he gets sucked back to the sumo mat subspace, Tafuku's ability with Hiyuki, and she's like, "All right, dude, I'm taking the swords now. We're the main problem's over. We're taking the swords now." And he's like, "Wait a minute. I have a plan. What if I'll just give you the Shinichi. You can just have it, because this shit's fucked. This shit was way stronger than I thought it was. These swords are so fucked, and we don't want evildoers to use them. I'm not getting out of this, so let me join the Kabunabi. And she's like, let's go. And that's how the second arc ends. Is he's going to go to the government organization and try to join forces with them as an enchanted blade user to get the help them escape this deadlock that they're in.
Right.
And that's the end of arc 2. That's the fucking Rakuzaichi. Tom, what are your overall thoughts now that we've kind of gone through it kind of point by point?
I'm in. I mean, it's a fun read.
Fuck yeah.
I think the confusion that I have with it, I think there's a ceiling of how much I love it right now, because when I'm watching these fights, sometimes it's fun in shonen. I think I like when you can like kind of strategize along with the fight and predict what happened. And I can't do that with this series. Like, it's just, the powers are so beyond like my comprehension right now that I'm just kind of enjoying the ride. But the quality of everything went up such a high notch with this arc that, yeah, I mean, we're definitely gonna cover the rest of it. I'm excited to do it. But like I'm like blown away by the artistic skill. It's one of the best like drawn manga I think I've ever read.
He's so talented, and he's someone too. He's like, I think he's 24 years old, I think, when he wrote the Rakuzaichi arc. And he started drawing, I think, when he was like 21 or 22. So very, very fucking, talented, very fucking young. And the art gets even better, dude. That's what's even crazier, is it's like it only gets up from here as far as the artistic ability. Yeah, I think this is like what locks in Kagurabachi and takes it to like level. It is a notable level up in quality. And I think when we discuss the third arc, which is the Sword Bearer assassination arc, which, by the way, as of the day of recording this episode, I would say the fifth arc of the story, at least what we will cover as the fifth arc, has ended today. So we have at least 3 more arcs to cover before we're waiting for the sixth one to finish.
By the way, I've looked up the kanji. It's hey Maku, which means the curtain falls. That's a good translation.
Yeah. Very, very sick. But yeah, any last thoughts on the Rakuzaichi? What do you? I want to know, because you're blind. You're blind, and some of our readers might be blind. Some of our listeners might be blind or going through it the first time too. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, they haven't set up the next sword yet, which is interesting.
No, we only know of Cloud Gouger, which is out of commission. The Magatsumi, the Shinichi, and then Enten.
Yeah.
So
I'm interested what the government's going to do, but what I want most right now, and we only got this at they've only given us a page or 2 of this. I want some hangout time. I want the girl and the job board shop. What is her name?
Hinao.
I want Hinao and all. I just want everyone to just hang out for a bit. I think that's what I want the most, because when we get glimpses of that, where everyone's hanging out, I like the characters. There's not a lot of space to breathe right now.
It's very fast
for the characters.
Yeah, and
so there's a little bit of a shallowness to their relationships and their character that I think we just need some. If I was writing the manga, I think we need not a filler arc, but just some hangout time.
We do, and I'll let you know, we do get a little bit of a little bit of downtime coming up in the immediate following,
which is I think something that, as much as the strategy of the flashback setup helps with pacing and with the fights and surprise, with if they did it more traditionally, where we just saw them preparing for this in the normal arc, that would have been the hangout time we would have got, and we just don't get it. And so there's a streamlining that I think is there's like a pro and con to it. And one pro is there's a lot of hype reveals, we get right to the action, but the con is we lose some hangout time, where I think those scenes would benefit just being breathable scenes. But you're talking to the guy who likes slow paced slice of life.
Yeah, and also too, and unfortunately, it's this thing with modern shonen. We're just in an environment where we can't really take our time like that anymore.
I know, yeah.
Too, so,
but that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling the need for some hangout. I value hangout a lot, and especially in shonen. Like, I mean, One Piece is a great example. Like, people miss the hangout time of Skypiea. And
there's small moment. We will get some small moments of downtime sprinkled in, but we're about to get the gas is about to get pushed a bit. So
sure. But anyway, but yeah. I mean, we're what are we, an hour and a half?
Oh my god, yeah. What did you? Let us know what you thought of the Rakuzaichi arc. If what were some of your favorite moments? How much I love it, and you'll join us next time when we cover the Sword Bearer assassination arc.